Table practice was absolutely brutal yesterday. Hopefully you guys got to see that. Um, Always a lot of fun. That was my first table practice, I think, this year. So, felt really good to get back on the table with everyone, see everyone, talk, interact. Uh, Had a new guy who feels super strong. It was really good seeing Kevin there. Um, Elbows are absolutely brutalized. Mostly that inner elbow, just as always. Everything else, again, like, I don't know. It's like in this weird place where I think I'm finally at that point to where like those like nagging long term, like, the pains that keep you stuck like a T-Rex all the time are pretty much gone. I don't really notice them until I actually start trying to use the area again. Like right now, my arms feel mostly fine, but if I like kind of like tense up or do anything, then I'll feel like there's some tenderness in there. But yeah, today we're going to do our kind of recovery circuit and ISOs, and then tonight we'll do some more ISOs and some rice bucket and s- yeah, it's gonna be a good day. So let's just see how 25 pounds feels, just so we know if we can do 35 or 40 for the main circuits. But today, like I said, I just kind of do the full range of motion. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. That's not feeling so good. Now we can go over the pronation. Control. Oh yeah, my right arm's been getting really. Then this is all kind of taken from Todd Hutchins. I'm sure you guys will recognize it, but this one, um, just putting the strap over the back of the hand. So it's kind of like a reverse curl, but you really want to focus on keeping your pinky pushed up. Switch arms. Everything's pretty wrecked on the right. Definitely doesn't feel the greatest. Um, and then the last part is just supination. Had a shit ton of carbs last night and this morning, so I'm getting a pretty gnarly pump and back pump. And so I added this little length of chain to the S hook, so that way I don't have to bend over so much, reduce that back pump. If you know, you know. Anyway, I went up to 35 pounds. Hopefully the right can hold up on that. I was feeling pretty bad on that warm up, but this is either 35 or 40 is usually what I do. And again, today's not necessarily about the weight. It's just moving through that circuit. And you're kind of limited by your riser. So your riser is going to be a lot harder than all your other uh all your other lifts. So I'm doing over the palm for the pronation, not through the thumb for this one, just so I can change it up for the week a little bit and just hit it slightly different. Okay.
Are we going to do river for dinner?
Sure.
I just saw that chicken stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after I eat, after I work out. Maybe. I actually felt better than um the warm up, which isn't surprising. But also, since I added the length of chain, I'm not going through as deep of a range of motion, I suppose. So that could also be a part of what's making it easier. But I just know if my back pump gets to a certain point, then it's pretty much going to ruin the workout anyway. I'm going to have to do it seated. So, I mean, it's going to be more range of motion than doing it seated. So it is what it is. Okay, pronation done. Now go into like I don't even know what you would call it. It's like a reverse grip curl or back to the hand curl or uh whatever. I know you guys probably thinking 35 is pretty light, and it is, but the day after you do table practice, everything feels pretty heavy. So don't take it for granted or don't try to push yourself too hard, because I could probably throw 45 or 50 on there and force it, but probably get hurt or not really be recovered by Tuesday for our first hard side pressure day. You know, it's funny because my left was feeling way more wrecked at the end of practice yesterday, but it feels mostly okay today. But my right's really struggling today, that's for sure. Whoa, this back pump, man, that is what's holding me back here. I should have drank way more water, but it is what it is. Oh, fucking so ugly, but we're getting through it. Fuck, that sucks. Yeah, that shit's not fun after table practice. But I find it helps to come in and do some stuff definitely the next day. Just get all the lactic acid pulled out, and it just conditions your body. It just lets it know that it just has to keep performing day to day to day. And I think that's important. It's a lesson somewhat learned from talking, interacting with Clifton over the years. It's just like, you know, the reason why he's able to train hard and heavy is often and constantly set PRs is because he just keeps training. And so his body's just conditioned to have him to work no matter how he's feeling. So I think that is definitely an important aspect in order to keep pushing forward and progress at the rate I want to, is just getting my body just really hard and really conditioned. So that way it can just keep performing day to day to day, and just not giving any excuses. Like they say, pain is weakness leaving the body. I don't think you have to like torture yourself or put yourself through hell, but you have to do what you got to do to reach your goals. And if your body isn't cooperating, it's usually not because it's not capable. It's just because you have to make it uncomfortable. Bogdan just did another great video on that. And, it's like one of the keys that you'll hear from any great man is just like being okay with discomfort, whether work related, whether here in the gym. You just have to be okay with being just in a state of discomfort and just not always feeling 100% and just pushing yourself through it. And pushing yourself through that discomfort is what lets you get to a higher level. Because if you stay in your little comfort zone, you're really not going to get better. You're going to get better just at a super slow rate. And so that's what the theme of this year is going to be, is just being uncomfortable all year. And I think, hearing it from Clifton, seeing it on Bogdan's video, and, just many other, great people. I think that that's what I need to focus this year on, is just embracing the suck, essentially. But yeah, let's switch into isometrics. Okay, isometrics are going to follow the same exact thing we just did, same exact circuit. We're just going to be pulling into the chain this time. That's the only big difference. Still battling this back pump, but we're going to get through our sets here. One thing I like is if you have one of these Mazurenko straps or just whatever you use as a strap with a judo belt, this has like the end of this tag here, so I kind of use that as a landmark to make sure I'm kind of holding it in the same spot every time. So if you're just using a judo belt or whatever, take a piece of tape or a Sharpie or something, mark it, just to help keep things a little bit, consistent from set to set. But anyway, let's get into this. It's going to kind of suck, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay. I was kind of pulling a little bit too hard there at some points. That was kind of cracking my rise there. You don't really want to do that. Sometimes when you're just going, yeah. But anyway, yeah, you kind of want to back it off from that maximal for sure. Yeah, let's get these. Pronation. Okay. Well, brutal. Oh, man. I don't think I quite made 20 seconds on that one. Ugh. Okay. Somehow this is easier on the right. It's the first time something's been easier on the right today. Ugh. Okay, one more. Just gotta get the supination in, and then we'll be good until the nighttime isometrics routine. Man, I'm telling you guys, this back pump, it's killing me. Absolutely killing me. I don't like to eat too many carbs before table practice, so that way I don't blow up on table. If you watched, you'll see that we stay on the table pretty long. I think that first stretch I was up there for like 25, 30 minutes, and then took like a 5-minute break, and then was up there again for like another 10, 15 minutes, and then took a break, and then probably that last time, the last 2 times, probably only like 5-minute or less stretches, just pretty brutalized. That first marathon run really takes it out of you. I don't want to get too comfortable here. Just talk about being uncomfortable. All right, supination, and then we're done. Oh yeah, that's definitely where it's at. I don't know what to do with my hands. Here we go. Last one. Oh, wow. Okay, that definitely sucked. Glad we're done with it. Tomorrow, definitely looking forward to doing another recovery. Uh, Pressing some isos. Those isos tonight are gonna feel great. Definitely working through the shoulders tonight. It's gonna feel great. I'm gonna do the full shoulder routine for sure. Been feeling pretty wrecked. Lots of shoulder. Been trying to work the weak positions more. I feel like the top roll could definitely be there on the left arm. Like it's wanting to be there. Need to work out some hand positions and everything. And I think that could end up being maybe my strongest spot on the left. It's been feeling really good, really good. Just, it's kind of like learning a whole move. Before I was just pressing and hooking. So I just need to learn the nuances of top rolling, and but the strength is there for sure. I would definitely like a little bit more pronation. And what's weird, and maybe it's just because most people's lefts are a little bit weaker, but even though my right arm, the pronation rise is definitely quite a bit stronger, I feel like they stay more locked on my left, and I'm able to utilize them more. That could just be because my hand is stronger and I'm able to get the better positioning, which is going to amplify my other strengths, just having a dominant hand position. So that could be what I'm missing on my right, is just that hand strength that my left has. And it's just a small difference, but it just, when it compounds with the fact that most people aren't left-handed, I think it just gives me that little bit of edge. So yeah, crazy. That sucked. Looking forward to this week. Definitely looking forward to Saturday's table practice. Trying to get some more videos out. My work schedule is going to be changing. So I'm not sure how that's going to impact videos, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, wow. Definitely recommend if you haven't tried that. Todd Hutching splits between 2 days, and I usually do as well, but just because of the practice last week, I mean, not practice, the arm bender being last week, having the matches and doing all the after pulls, I wanted to be, perfect, or as perfect as possible for yesterday. So I didn't do normally I do the reps in the morning, and then today on Sunday, I'll just do the ISOs for this. But I kind of combined it, took the volume in half and combined it today. So it's same total volume, just split between the reps and the ISOs. Um, you know, your plan doesn't have to be rigid. Don't be afraid to modify it to your needs as you go based on what's feeling good, what's not feeling good. Um, just hopefully, if anything, over this week, I've kind of shown you guys you don't need to be in the gym for hours and hours and hours. um you will progress. Just make sure you're doing stuff that makes sense, that works for what you do on the table. Do something every day, and you will get better. And for your recovery days, you don't need to take days completely off. Just do some active recovery, like what I did today. And on my Monday workout, you could do arm wrestling specific stuff, like the chest and the back stuff. um it all goes to help condition your body, help you recover faster, and raises your threshold for discomfort. So I'm feeling really good about everything, and hope you guys are having a good week. Okay. Definitely feeling in better shape than earlier. Happy to be doing these ISOs. On my right, it's like it's mainly like in my wrist. My elbow definitely has like a little bit of tightness and tenderness, but my wrist is the only place that really feels like you got totally beat on. Ugh. This definitely feels good. And like I said, target the wrist a little bit more. We can bring it a little higher up into the hand. So that way you have to use more wrist flexion to counteract the weight. Yeah, left elbow is definitely, it's funny how that is. It's right wrist and left elbow. It just goes to show that definitely arm wrestle different on both sides. But tomorrow we should be feeling pretty good, especially after doing some more pressing, loading the elbows through the bench vertically, since it's like a slightly different way than how you load your tendons through arm wrestling, where it's a lot of like horizontal force. Loading them through that vertical, definitely just, I don't know, since it's different load, it just feels good. And I think it's part of the reason why it's so therapeutic and helpful for arm wrestling. I also was doing some more research, and it seems similar to how squat builds the most overall bone tissue in the body. Bench press, because of how heavy you can load it versus other exercises, it's going to build the most bone and connective tissue in your upper body, just again, because it's going to be the most force being moved through your joints. So just even for that reason, just for bone and calcium turnover, being able to load the tendons very heavy, it just seems more and more that pressing, and even like decently heavy pressing, should probably be in everyone's routine, but I'm sure like when you get up to a certain point, the diminishing returns are pretty great because the the forces in arm wrestling, won't exceed a certain threshold, especially, at a, amateur to entry pro kind of level. If you're benching 300, you're probably not going to get that much more benefit. And, even at the world level, how much benefit do you get probably above benching 400, so definitely skews off there. But even if it helps 1, 2, 3%, and that's all over the course of a year, then, it's worthwhile because, over with arm wrestling being kind of a marathon sport where, many people don't even start getting good or noticed until their 10 plus year mark in the sport. If you can get a 3% advantage every year from something, that adds up. It's, an extra 30%, a whole extra third of a year of training equivalent. So, yeah, I'd say it definitely adds up over a long period. And when you do a bunch of little things like all the supplements and everything I take, yeah, they're not gonna make you world class or anything, but if it just gives you just little percentage points of advantages here and there, it goes a long way, especially if you're not the most naturally talented person at arm wrestling. Helps you to kind of be able to keep up with the guys that are. Yeah, I really wanted to practice the move Nathan was doing on Miles at the arm bender, but just with how trash strength and elbows were, I didn't want to get in the strap because the strap gives me more access to my arm power, and I was afraid of um, tweaking or pissing off the elbow. So definitely definitely stayed away from the strap. I do want to focus on the strap uh, going into Miles City. Oh, yeah. Yeah, on the left arm, as soon as I move it out to that arm break position, it really feels it. And don't forget, guys, in the morning, if you are going to do something similar where you do like recovery stuff, split it up throughout the day, you want to be taking your vitamin C because vitamin C is what your body uses to transport collagen. So it can't actually get the collagen to where it wants to go without sufficient vitamin C. So make sure you're taking vitamin C 2 or 3 times a day. Doesn't have to be a big dose. It can be, 50 milligrams, but as long as it's 50 milligrams or more, then um, it'll do the job. But yeah, my hands are actually feeling really good. Like I said, the wrist was a little janky, but I think what we did earlier is going to help with that a lot. These are going to help. I don't think I'm going to do the bucket tonight because again, I think this week we're going to change things up a little bit. And we are going to be training the hands tomorrow. We're going to be doing our long ISO. Yeah, so we're going to be getting a lot of hand work. And I think my back is at a point too to where I'm not really too concerned. I don't really need to add any more muscle. So I'm just going to start using fat grips on all the back exercises too. So I should get 2 more days, or at least I should be getting 8 to 10 more sets of hand volume a week. So yeah, I'm gonna see how that feels and integrating the rice bucket kind of in and out, just to make sure that they're not gonna end up conflicting with each other. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, yeah, after this, just gonna do my nighttime shake and do my best to get to sleep and recover as much as possible. So see you guys next time.